What you said, that's a dirty trick during
Very dirty trick, yeah.
That I met you once and didn't tell, because I saw you the other night here in town, but
I remember I was outside the Dixie Hotel and you came by in a cab and you whistled, right?
No, that was someone else. No, but you were outside the Dixie Hotel. Is this Dixie Hotel still there? I guess it must be. No, I don't want to keep you in suspense. At some point during the evening, I will reveal it to you. Let me know when the suspense gets so unbearable.
How about if I scream right now?
No, I want to wait a while.
Oh.
I'll wait a while. You're not going to snatch off your hair like Carol Burnett did the other night here, are you?
Wasn't that great?
That was a great shock to
Yeah.
say to a woman, what do you do when you let your hair down? And she said this and pulled it off. She's a good friend of yours, though.
Actually, talking about the Dixie Hotel, we decided that if we ever did another special, we would do it in the lobby of the Dixie Hotel.
Well, that's a good idea.
Yeah, we thought it would be fun.
I know for people, when I was a kid, way back on the Jackie Gleason show, he always used to do a joke about memoirs of an elevator operator in the Dixie Hotel.
Oh, yes.
It's been a joke for years, although the hotel is all fixed up now.
Well, we could try Filene's Basement or something like that.
What does that mean?
Filene's Basement? It's a bargain basement in a shop called Filene's in Boston.
Oh,
I just did a commercial, didn't I?
Oh, you may have,
Yeah.
yes. You may get a bargain in the mail. Do kids recognize you on the street as Mary Poppins?
Yes, and they sometimes expect me to do something magical, and then it's very hard.
Do you carry any tricks about with you
No,
so you can do that?
Just a sharp cuff across the ear usually does it.
Just touch of Debussy Fields.
That's right, yes.
I didn't know that. That was your first film, wasn't it? Mary
Yes.
Poppins?
Yes.
Nothing else you'd never done any little films or?
No, I did a commercial in England once for something or other, but nothing. No.
Were you prepared for the great success of it? Were you floored by the tremendous
Something
success?
nice happened. I had made Poppins and Emily and The Sound of Music, and none of them had been released. So I had all the great fun of making films, and none of the responsibility of having them released.
They were all in the can,
Yeah, that's
so to
right.
speak, and then all came out at once.
Well, kind of just one after the other. Yeah.
What is there a kind of role that you'd really like to get into, to kind of get out of the pure image you have? Do you know what I mean by the pure image?
Kind of. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, sweet and very nice and very proper and very lovely and.
Well, if you could think of the opposite of that, it might help, you know.
Yeah.
But
because everyone knows that you're not really any of those things.
Oh, of course.
And
damn right, I should say, yes.
Why, Sandra? No, but would you like to do a real low-down, wretched, Tobacco Road type part?
No, not really. I wouldn't mind doing a low-down kind of hokey thing, you know, something really wacky and wild. That would be great. I'd love to do an out-and-out comedy and try that. And I'd like to do a modern film. I've never done anything that wasn't in a period costume. You know, it wasn't a period film. I mean, even Emily, which sort of seems modern, was 1942 or something.
What about
like that.
the Hitchcock?
Oh, I'm sorry. You're right. Yeah, I'd forgotten. Yeah. No, you're right.
It must be nice to be able to forget an entire movie. I like that. You. Now, could you clear up one thing for me, and then we'll never have to discuss it again?
Only if you'll tell me where we met.
Okay, I will, right after,
All right.
right after this.
Okay.
Why did you not make the movie of My Fair Lady? It's never been completely explained to me.
It's very simple. I had never made a movie. I was not a star. I was not box office.
But you were the star of it on Broadway.
Yeah, but
everybody had bought the record.
But people on Broadway or around Broadway might know, but certainly people out in the middle of America and out here and didn't know me from Adam, you know.
Yeah.
And so I understand it.
But
I'll
then
never
Rex
forget
Harrison,
it, but I understand it.
You'll never forget. You must have been really sore at the time,
Well,
because it was certainly your part.
It's nice to have the kind of compensation that I had, which was Mary Poppins.
Yeah.
And so I felt, you know, kind of.
Was that decision made by one man or a group of people? Or?
I don't really know. I honestly, I don't know why. Maybe I was silly, but I didn't really hold out much hope for it. I mean, I didn't think that I would get it, just because I knew I'd never made a film, and how could I, and all that kind of thing.
Yeah. So it wasn't that great a surprise.
No.
I'll tell you where we met.
Where?
Your dressing room.
Where? Which dressing room?
Are we on the air? I was still in college when My Fair Lady opened.
Yes.
And it opened in New Haven.
Yes.
And an opening night,
which was a thunderstorm or a snowstorm or something.
Yeah, and something went badly wrong. I remember Moss Hart came out before the curtain and said, everyone went, oh, because they'd heard all about this show.
Yes.
And he said, no, nobody's sick. It's but one of the turntables.
Both turntables. We had
Both
two
of
of them, and neither of them were going to work, and he just warned the audience. But you came back afterwards?
I was there, and there was a sense of just gigantic success about it that night. It went about an hour longer than normal because stagehands had to come on and turn the tables.
That's right.
And
they had to crank them by hand,
Yeah.
and the show ran about 4 hours.
Yeah.
And it was the first time we'd ever really done it, with an audience. And I remember I got my wig on backwards that night.
You did?
Yes, I had an incredibly fast change, and I just, grabbed. I had different hairstyles for different parts of the play, and I ran in and put on my wig and got in my costume, ran out and did my number, and came off. And at the end of the show, Cecil Beaton came back furious, and he said, "Not that way, you silly girl, this way."
And turned your hair around?
Just, like
you should have done the same thing to him.
Yes.
Yes. I think he does, doesn't he? I'm not sure.
He forgave me later, but
Yeah.
it was.
What's funny, I'm surprised with all the excitement of that night that you don't remember my coming. I was just a student, and people were thronging backstage, and I thought, I'm going to see where they're going.
I don't
And I went
remember
backstage
any
and-
one particular student. There were many, of
Yeah,
course.
yeah. Well, it's probably because I didn't either say anything to you or make myself known in any
I
way. just
probably
sort of-
was still in a stupor.
I stepped into the dressing room and stepped out. You were wearing some sort of plaid pants.
Was I?
Yeah?
How fascinating.
Yeah, no, you really were. They were, I'll never forget them. They were trousers, I mean.
I'll give them to you if you'd like.
Well, stand up, let's see. Well, I don't think we're That's all I've always wanted, those pants. No, I'm not even sure. Yeah, it was the first night, sure. Do you remember a pair of sort of red plaid?
The pants I remember.
Trousers that you had?
Unfortunately, I wish I could say I remembered you, but isn't that awful?
Maybe if I were red and plaid, you can remember. I want to know what kind of a kid you were.
Well,
Where you were a child star at what age? 12, 14, something like that? Very early.
About 12,
Yeah.
professionally, yeah. But my parents, my stepfather, I should say, was a singer. And when I was about 7 or 8, really to keep me occupied because my school was evacuated because of the war and things like that, he decided that just to keep me busy, he would give me some singing lessons. And I don't know whether he had heard me singing or anything like that. I never thought I could sing, but he started teaching me and found that I had a voice, and it was a kind of freak voice.
How do you mean that?
Well, it had an incredibly large range. It was very thin and quite squeaky, but terribly long and very powerful. And I could do incredible acrobatics with it. I mean, all sorts of coloratura songs, and it sounded a bit like a juvenile Ema Sumac or something like that,
The lady who sang 4 octaves?
That's right, yes.
You have a great range.
No, I had 4 octaves. I don't anymore.
You've lost octaves?
Yes.
At what age do octaves start falling away?
Well, depends if you're a boy or a girl.
Oh.
Mine kind of started to crash about my ears when I was about 17. And I guess that what happened was that instead of being a long, thin voice, my voice began to mature and kind of, shorten.
You lost notes at both ends or at one end?
Yes, and
only?
the whole gimmick by the time I was 17 was that I was this fantastically incredible high singer. And when I started to lose them, I thought that, I might as well take my life. There was nothing else left.
Really? You were that sad about it?
Well, no, that worried because I was committed to shows and I was expected to sing, and when you suddenly can't, I was kind of worried. But
You said your stepfather, did you not live with your real parents?
no, my real parents were divorced. I lived with my mother and her second husband, that was my stepfather.
Oh, I see.
And my dad also remarried, and they both had separate children. And
So you have a lot of half-brothers and sisters.
yes, that's right, yeah.
Well, was it rough for you as a kid being thrown into the theater, which is a wicked world that's supposed to warp you and turn you into it?
No, it was kind of fun. Looking back on it, I suppose there were rough times, but you never think at the time that they're rough. I mean, I was allowed all sorts of privileges that other kids were not, and I was allowed to go into the theater, and I was allowed to watch from the side of the stage and get involved in it all, and I felt I was the luckiest girl in the world. I guess I did miss out on a few things. I didn't have that many chums of my own age and things like that, and I didn't have much schooling. And
You didn't?
no, I had a kind of spasmodic schooling until I was about 12, when I did start working professionally, and then I had a governess who, God bless her, tutored me and taught me anything I might know.
Did anybody warn you as you were going into the theater that there are people who will say, "You want to sit on my lap, little girl?" And
well, I had
like
a few awful letters from one or two people who thought it might be fun to write like that. But no, people said that people in the theater were terrible and evil and I ought to watch out. And I never found a soul that was really mean to me. And I guess, you know, people never hurt puppies. And I guess when I was really young, they never thought to hurt me either.
Yeah. Have you met any lousy people since
Oh,
then?
well, of course, yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay. We can get to some of those later,
yes.
when Blake gets out.
In the next commercial, yeah.
Okay. I wonder, I asked you about your image earlier. I hope that doesn't bother you, because I don't see anything wrong with your image, or I'm not even sure you have that one, because you have played a kind of variety of roles.
Well, I think I do have an image. It'd be silly not to admit that people think in a certain way about me. I'm not completely sure.
Well, they wouldn't
what that
cast
is.
you as Geronimo.
No. No. Well, go on.
Do you want to let loose a string of profanity here?
No, I did that in the dressing room before I came on.
Oh, you did?
Yes.
Okay. Why did you decide to write a book all of a sudden?
Oh, I see where you're leading. It had to do with a string of profanity, in actual fact.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a long story. I'll be as brief as I can. My stepdaughter, Blake's daughter, Jennifer, was 11 years old, and all of us, that's Blake's two children, my daughter, secretaries, and Blake's associate producer and his wife, and a nanny, and all sorts of other people, were all on location in France and Belgium and Ireland for the film Darling Lily that we were all making. And the children just kind of went berserk. There was no one really to keep an eye on them, and they never brushed their teeth, and they never put on clean clothes, and they really just ran wild. And I finally said, this has got to stop, being very officious and in my proper Mary Poppins manner. And so I dreamt up I said, let's make a game out of it. Come on, whoever doesn't brush their teeth 3 times, who fails to brush their teeth 3 times, or who doesn't at least pick up clothes and put them in the laundry basket to save us all the trouble, will have to pay a forfeit. And Jenny, my stepdaughter, said, okay, but you play too. And I said, all right, well, what should I do? And she said, don't swear so much. And I didn't realize that I had been swearing, talking of profanities, and so I said, okay, and lost my part of the game within the first half hour we started to play it. And so...
I bet you can make a stagehand blush when you want.
No, I don't think so. But anyway, I said, well, okay, what's my forfeit to be? Yeah. And she said, well, okay, write me a story. And so I said, fine. And I was going to write just a short thing and get it over and done with and try to make amends. But then I thought, no, I'll try and write something that may turn out to be just a little constructive, that might teach us something, that might make something of this summer that it's not. And so I decided to try and write a story about a little girl who lived in the country, because Jenny's a girl who lives mostly in the town. And that's how it came about. And then I just couldn't stop writing.
I have a card. It's called Mandy, and it says Julie Edwards. So you're not capitalizing on your well-known name, which is interesting. It's a nice book for kids.
Thank you.
Yeah, but you actually wrote it. It's not.
I really did. No, it took me 2 years to do it, believe it or not. And because I didn't, do it all at once. I did it when I could. And every time, Jenny doesn't live with us all the time. She lives with her mother in London, and every vacation that she came to spend with us, she'd say, is it done yet? Is it ready? And I finally really had to finish it.
Yeah.
And
I'm glad you did.
no, so am I.